शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। My deep pranams to Sadguru and my most revered pranams to our Guru Bhai and all the devotees of Sri Peetham. Today, as you know, I would like to take up some aspects of Sri Muthuswami Dikshitar, one among the Sangeeta Mummurtis, and especially two compositions. The very first song that he composed was Srinathadi Guru Guho, and the other one is, of course, our very famous favorite composition, Meenakshi Memudam, which is liked by our Sadguru. And what is the speciality of Muthuswami Dikshitar is that his date of birth is 24 March 1775. He was born in Tiruvarur. His father was Ramaswamy Dikshitar, who hailed initially from Virinchipuram near Kanchipuram, and later on, due to some political disturbances, they went over to Tiruvarur. And Ramaswamy Dikshitar has composed the longest Carnatic music composition, which is called as the 108 Ragatala Malika. And that was his greatness, and also he learnt Veena from the son of Govinda Dikshitar, who was known as Venkata Vaidyanatha Dikshitar. So he was well versed both in Veena as well as music. And the important fact is that the Tiruvarur temple, all the religious rituals, including the Suddha Maddalam and all that, were formulated by Sri Ramaswamy Dikshitar. And his sons, Muthuswami Dikshitar, then we have Chinnaswamy Dikshitar, Balaswamy Dikshitar, and Balambika, his daughter. But initially, Ramaswamy Dikshitar and his wife, for a long time they were not blessed with the birth of any child. So it is said that they went to Vaidiswaran Koil temple, and there they stayed for some days, prayed, and later when a son was born, the Muthukumara Swami shrine, which is within the Vaidiswaran temple, and that name was given to the son, the first son who was born. So that is how he was named as Muthuswami. We all know that even anybody born in Tiruvarur is said to attain moksha, so he was so blessed to have been born in Tiruvarur. It is also believed that there was one Chidambaranatha yogi who belonged to the Natha Sampradaya. That is mainly not highlighted, especially with Muthuswami Dikshitar. Sri Bhaskaracharya is supposed to be the great guru and belong to this Natha Sampradaya. And one of my students from Cincinnati University, Dr. Kannikeshwaran, when he came, because he had also learnt the Drupad style of music and was also blessed to have been learning some Kirtanams of Dikshitar from one of the disciple Parampara. So I asked him to compare this Drupad Sangeet with Dikshitar's compositions, and he completed his PhD. But why I want to highlight this is that this Chidambaranatha yogi was a great guru of Sri Vidya Upasana, and he had initiated this Sri Vidya Upasana to Ramaswami Dikshitar himself. And Ramaswami Dikshitar with his family had come to Chennai, invited by Manali Muthukrishna Mudaliyar, who was a great zamindar and also a patron of Carnatic music. And he had taken the entire family to Fort St. George, where they listened to the Western music orchestra being played there and were fascinated by the violin. So it is Baluswami Dikshitar, who was taken up by the violin, who started to learn this instrument, and slowly it was adapted to become a Pakavadyam for Carnatic music. And later we have also Vadivelu, Chinnaya, Ponnaya, Sivanandam, Vadivelu. They are known as the Tanjavur Quartet, who had formulated the Margam also of Bharatanatyam. So these four people were the prime disciples of Muthuswami Dikshitar. So later Vadivelu was invited by Sri Swatitirunal Maharaja, and when he went there, the Maharaja was so impressed by his violin play, and it is said that he presented an ivory violin to Vadivelu. So from Chennai, it is Chidambaranatha yogi who took Muthuswami Dikshitar, getting the permission from his father. He took him to Banaras. There he initiated him into this Sri Vidya mantra, and he not only taught music apart from what he had learned from his own father, philosophy and mantra and all the various aspects. And it is said that he also told him one day after few years that he can ask for whatever he wants, because this mantra vandu avarukku palitam aidithu after so many years of doing the puja or reciting it or whatever. So the Guru blesses him, and it is at this period of his stay in Banaras that he was also exposed to the Drupad way of music or the style of singing, which he adapted by the 18th century. And regarding Hindustani music, it was Drupad earlier, and then we have the Khayal system. The Khayal is a lighter form and Drupad is a very heavy type of singing. And that is how, unlike the other two of the Trinity, Tyagaraja or Shyama Sastri, we find that Muthuswami Dikshitar adapted ragas like Vrindavana Saranga, Yamuna Kalyani, Hamir Kalyani, Vijayavanti, and many other Hindustani ragas, and he composed the Kritis. Apart from that, if you look at the Kala Pramana of Dikshitar, it is very slow, like the Drupad style. And primarily we have Dikshitar composing most of his compositions, nearly 500 compositions, in Sanskrit. One or two songs are in Telugu and Maniprabhala, where he has also used Tamil and Telugu, etc. But mostly it is only Sanskrit. So when we look at this composition, of course, after some time, it is said that he was blessed with a veena, and because the Guru said, okay, you can try out. The mantra it's fructified. We have got the phalan of your mantra, and so whatever you want, if you wish for something, you will get it. And that's how he received a veena. And he calls himself as Vainika Gayaka Guru Guha, and he was an expert in playing the veena, and you can see that veena gamakas are there in his compositions. And of course there is always the Madhyama Kala Sahitya. And when it comes to Tiruvarur, he is the composer who has given us maximum group kritis like Abhayambika Navavarnam, then Kamalamba Navavarnam, and Nilotpalambika Navavarnam. So many compositions on Tyagaraja, the presiding deity of Tiruvarur, and Panchalinga Stalakritis, and you can go on and on. Now let us look into this. Before that, of course, one fine day, Chidambaranatha Yogi mentioned to him that maybe in a few days I'll leave my mortal coil. So you do whatever you have to do for me, and then you go down south, go to Tirthani first, and then you can start your journey of music. So he did everything for his Guru, and then it was so overwhelming to know from Dr. Kanikeshwaran that when he went to Benares, he was able to find out the exact place where this Chidambaranatha Yogi's place of burial, or where there is a mantapa which is dedicated to him after when he passed away there. So the first song, Srinathadi Guru Guho, is in Raga Maya Malagauda. Now the story, there are so many stories connected with Dikshitar, and he came down to, till then he had not composed, so he was very upset, and after his Guru left his mortal coil, so he comes to Tirthani, and there he was seated under a tree, and it is said that some old man came and asked him to open his mouth, and he gave him a candy. And they say that it is Lord Muruga who came in that disguise. But here the most important aspect here is Srinathadi Guru Guho Jayati Jayati Shri Chidanandanaatohamiti Santatam Hridini Bhaja. So he's mentioning in the first letter or the word Srinatha Adi Guru Guho Jayati. So this Natha Sampradaya, who is the Adi Guru, is Guha. That is, he is mentioning Muruga as the Adi Guru of this Natha Sampradaya. Shri Chidanandanaatohamiti santatam. So whenever a person gets into this Natha Sampradaya, he gets a new name, and here he says Chidanandanatohamiti santatam. So Chidanandanatha is the name which was given to Muthuswami Dikshitar as a devotee or in the line of the Natha Sampradaya. And then there is a vital element here. Nana prapancha vichitra karo nama rupa panchabhuta karo ajnana dvanta prachanda bhaskaro jnana pradayako maheshwaro. Everybody is giving the meaning as sun here, S-U-N. But here he is referring to Bhaskaracharya. Ajnana Dvanta, the one who has removed the ajnana from my mind. Prachanda Bhaskaro. This we have to go inside and look into that important revelation here. Jnana Pradayako Maheshwaro. Then we have Maya Maya Vishwadishtano Matmakakadi Madanuштano Malini Mandalanta Vidano Mantra Tyajapa Hamsa Dhyano. That Hamsa Dhyana and the Ajapa Natana he is referring here. Maya Karya Kalana Hino Mamaka Sahasra Kamalasino. The 1,000-petal lotus. Madhurya Ganamritapano Madhavadya Bhaya Varapradano Maya Sapalita Brahmarupo Marakoti Sundara Swarupo Matimatam Hridaya Gopuradipo Matasuradi Jagat Pratapo Maya Malava Gauladi Desha Mahipati Pujita Pada Pradesha Madhavadya Bhaya Brinda Prakasha Maheshasya Mahartopadesha Shri Natadi Guru Guho Jayati Jayati Shri Chidanandanatohamiti Santatam Hridini Bhaja. So this is a very important song, the very first composition of Muthuswami Dikshitar. And apart from this, we have many other compositions. And after some time, he has visited so many temples like Tirupati, Kanchipuram, everywhere. And when you come to one composition like the Kamalambika Navavarnam, This raga is called Ganta. Muthuswami Dikshitar also has introduced many rare compositions. Shri Kamalambi Keya Vava Shive Karadhrita Sukha Sari Ke Amba Shri Kamalambi Then when we come to this concept of the 72 Melakarta, as I mentioned earlier, Ramaswamy Dikshitar, who was a disciple of this Venkata Vaidyanatha Dikshitar, he was the son of Govinda Dikshitar, and Govinda Dikshitar's another son is Venkatamaki, who gave us the 72 Melakartas. So this 72 Melakarta scheme was followed by Muthuswami Dikshitar, and the names of the melas are different from what we have from Govindacharya, the present 72 Melakarta which we follow now, and that was taken up and followed by Saint Tyagaraja. Because when we talk about Purvi Kalyani, the raga name given by Muthuswami Dikshitar belonging to the Venkatamaki Sampradaya is Gamaka Kriya. So let me render that composition.